Hello everyone. Bonjour, love lovers. So, guys, I just saw something interesting. So, apparently, Ben Affleck has got a new friend, and his friend is Kick Kennedy, Alexander, right? And you know how the Daily Mail is already speculating that there could be a relationship or something similar to that, right? Between Kick Kennedy and Ben Affleck. Remember, Ben Affleck is still getting divorced from J-Lo because J-Lo filed for the divorce finally, right? So of course we want to know how this friendship could develop, or does it bring a potential after the divorce is done, for a relationship. So let's get into the juice. So I'm always talking about Ben Affleck because he's a Gemini. So I'm naturally, what's the word? Attracted to his energy, right? Similar energies, they flock together since I'm a Gemini. So anyway, Ben Affleck was born on the 15th of August 1972. We know that, right? We've already discussed him in length. 52 years old as of today. And his new friend, Kick Kennedy, Alexander, was born on the 13th of April 1988. They are friends, right? And some people are speculating that they are in a relationship, right? Of course, there's an age gap, but such age gaps don't matter really. They don't make a difference, because she's 36, he's 52, and they are certain also their certains are also like not in a bad position, to each other. Yes, they are giving like a transformational aspect to each other, but such aspects, they are there to transform someone and not really to say the relationship wouldn't work out. Yes, it would bring a lot of challenges, but those challenges, they turn into transformations, right? So of course, we are hearing about them because, like I always tell you guys, when Saturn gets into a conjunction or into an aspect with Venus, things happen for sure. And in this case, Ben Affleck's Saturn is conjunct with Kick's Venus, and his own Venus, which is also sitting on his ascendant, by the way, is opposite her Saturn. Basically, her Saturn also comes and makes an overlay to his seventh house of marriage, of contracts, of I want to have a long-term thing with you. So if somebody would ask me just from these aspects, like these two aspects of Saturn and Venus, if they could have a long-term relationship, just based on this, I would say, of course, yes, definitely, because Saturn here is here to say, I want to have a relationship, a commitment, something written down. But what we need to see now is that her Saturn gets conjunct with his Jupiter in this seventh house. Jupiter does not like to be tied down, as I said. And when Jupiter comes into a conjunction with Saturn, they have an understanding, and it's like one person is going to do, his own thing, the other one is going to do their own thing. So it's more like, with this conjunction in the 7th house, it's more like Kik would be willing to settle down, to have some commitment, but at the same time she wouldn't be able to hold him down because of the Jupiter, right? And remember, Jupiter and Saturn are neutral to each other, meaning that the planets don't necessarily stop each other or limit each other's actions that they're supposed to do, right? So even if they would be getting married or getting I'm talking about marriage already, they're just friends but even if they were to get into a committed relationship, and then Kik would have to accept that Ben Affleck would not necessarily want to have a traditional marriage where, people are just sitting in the house, and, he would want to move around. He would still want his freedom. And so with that acceptance, then of course this would work out well, because now the thing is, with her Saturn opposite his Venus, it's wanting again that commitment. It's wanting again to have his love, his commitment, his relationship, his unionship, right? But it's speaking to it in a different language, because it's speaking from a Sagittarius point of view, and Venus is on the Gemini point of view. So the interests towards commitment are seen differently. Yes, they are going parallel, but they seen differently. Okay, so there would need to be a lot of space in this relationship for or it to be a long-term commitment. Like, they would have to accept that we give each other space. I do my own thing, you do your own thing, and we have the marriage going without crossing each other's borders. Right. So basically, to just make it simple, would they have a long-term relationship? Yes. Would they have some hectic challenges? Not so much. However, what I see is that from when she turns 37 next year, because now she's 36 years old and 4 months, when she turns 37, or around the 37-year mark, her Ketu is going to progress over her Venus, and at this time she could experience many breakups. She could experience getting in the relationship, getting out of the relationship, getting back in the relationship, and getting back out again, many or multiple breakups at this time, because that's what Ketu does when it goes against Venus or over Venus or conjunct with Venus, right? So, but what I see is that currently, as in this year, as I said, of course, they are talking, or they're friends, or they're getting close together because of their Venuses, getting in contact or aspecting or getting conjunct with each other's Saturns. But I also see something very, very important here, okay? The thing is that his progressing Saturn is currently opposite her own progressing Saturn. So they have not only their natal Saturns, getting conjunct with their natal Venus or opposite, they also have the progressing Saturns as well, looking at each other, talking to each other, requiring some sort of bondage together, right? Of course, when the Saturns are going against each other, it means that they see different ideas. They have different views about what commitment is all about, what commitment is, right? Because of the opposition. So with the opposition, it means that we are talking about this thing. We both want this thing, but we want it differently or in a different way. I want it in an airy way. You want it in a fiery way. I want it in a earth way. You want it in a watery way. So that is what the opposition is all about. But I also see something very important is that her progressing Venus is currently conjunct with his ascendant, again telling us why they are getting close together, or they becoming close friends, or whatever it is that they're having. It is because her progressing Venus is literally on his body as we speak, right? But another important thing is that his progressing Venus now is conjunct with his is conjunct with her natal Saturn. So you guys, you can see it's like just a conjunction of Venus, Saturn, Venus, Saturn, Saturn, Venus, Venus, which are always demanding commitment, marriage, getting close, getting serious, or some partnership if it's business, like serious partnership. So this is why these guys are being seen together at this time, are going out as friends or whatever they are at this time. It's because of all these aspects that are going around them, right? However, the problem is not only obviously the divorce that is ongoing, right, when it comes to Ben Affleck, but his Ketu is still going over his Saturn, which is conjunct with her Venus. So meaning that this progressing Ketu of his is actually putting a distance, into him getting into a relationship or like a full-on commitment type of a vibe with her, is because of his progressing Ketu. But the good news is that next year when he turns 53, this Ketu is going to leave Saturn, like he's certain, and he's finally going to be free. His Saturn is finally going to be free with her Venus conjunct to it. So at this time, when he turns 53, this is when we could see them really being announced as a couple, or doing something serious if they are a couple. Remember, again, this is a Daily Mail rumor, so we don't know what's happening. But next year when he turns 53, or around the 53 mark, then for sure this could be a very good blossoming commitment, because there's no way to run away from all these aspects with their planets, right? And another thing that I wanted to talk about is a very specific aspect that his Saturn is making to her moon, right? This is a particular aspect that tells us that there is an outstanding debt, an outstanding obligation that he needs to render to her, or he needs to receive from her. Okay, so this could be around mothering, so nurturing, caring. So there is a care, like an outstanding debt of care, nurturing, all of that that he has to give to her, or he has to receive from her. And it could also be in terms of profession. Maybe this outstanding debt, it has to be about elevating her professional world, or her helping him with a professional status, or even status in the society. But this is an outstanding debt due to the dharmic aspect that the Saturn is making to the moon. Of course, the love lovers from the Vedic side, they would know exactly what I'm talking about. And the love lovers from the Western side, you guys are gonna get to know these things as we get along, right, with the lessons and everything. C'est pas grave, don't worry, it's not a problem. But the Westerners would say maybe this is a comic point, comic aspect. Let's use that for my Western love lovers. So this is like a comic, but generally everyone that we meet, we have a comic duty with them. We have a comic relationship. We don't have to necessarily be in a romantic relationship with the people that we have a comic duty with. Your boss at work, you have a comic relationship with him. The person that you say hello to every morning when you go to work, you have a comic relationship with them. Your neighbor that is irritating you sometimes, or you irritating them, you have a comic relationship to do that in this lifetime. So we must not think that comic relationships, they come only through love and marriage. No. Even with our children, it's a comic relationship, because it means that everyone that we meet in this lifetime and that we have a connection with, regardless of the connection, even your bus driver when you were a kid to, the bus driver to school when you were a kid, that is somebody that you had to come back in this lifetime and experience them driving you. Maybe you were their driver and you drove them, or you gave them a lift in one of your past lives, and this time around you came back to get the same treatment, right? So literally everyone that we meet, even your bank advisor, that is somebody from your past life. It could have been anyone from your past life, and now they're coming back to give you advice about your finances and all of that, to take care of you. I mean, guys, literally everyone, every single person that we connect with in this lifetime, we knew them before. If you're listening to this, you and I had some sort of connection in our past lives. So that's why now you're coming back now and you're getting this information from me, because maybe you taught me a lot of stuff back in our past lives. Maybe you gave me so much information, and now in this lifetime you are back to receive the information, or some information from me too, because it's payback time. So it's always like this. So don't just think that, oh my gosh, karmic relationships, they only happen through marriage, all of that. No, everyone is a karmic connection. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. And otherwise, if I were to rate this relationship, I would literally give it like an 8 out of 10. Remember, again, it's not a confirmed relationship. It is a tabloid thing. I would give them like 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. And yeah, because except, her Venus, her Ketu going over her Venus starting from the 37-year mark, meaning that lots of breakups are to be expected. Otherwise, things are good. So guys, yeah, that's it. I'll chat to you soon. For now, I must say, ciao, 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 ciao.